Hello everyone, welcome back to the Jimin Love channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Enjoy the video. The golden echoes of the arena. The roar of thousands outside, the stage echoed like ocean waves crashing. Against the shore, relentless, booming, and filled with raw anticipation. Behind the curtain of darkness, Jimin stood in quiet focus. The faint ambient lights reflected softly off his long, swept-back blonde hair. His casual black layered shirt and silver chains felt familiar, serving as both his armor and his identity tonight. For years, this grand stage had been his home. Yet every time he stepped under the main lights, the tremble in his chest remained unchanged, a pure blend of nervous adrenaline and absolute passion. As the bass of the intro reverberated through the floorboards, the arena's lighting shifted to a radiant golden amber. Jimin took his first steps out. In an instant, the crowd erupted. Tens of thousands of light sticks flickered in unison like a swaying sea of stars, mirroring his every breath. With a quiet smile that balanced warmth and intense charisma, Jimin brought the microphone to his lips. Every note he sang wasn't just a lyric. It was a piece of his story, an outpouring of gratitude, and the culmination of years of relentless dedication. Beside him, the dancers moved with sharp precision, but Jimin commanded the stage with an effortless grace of his own. His movements were fluid yet powerful, appearing almost weightless against gravity. He raised a single hand high toward the arena ceiling, inviting everyone in the room to lose themselves in the moment. "Put your hands up," he called out between beats, and instantly a sea of arms rose in unison. Midway through the set, warm haze and bursts of light enveloped the stage. The moment felt almost timeless. Jimin tilted his head back, taking in the thunderous sound of fans singing back every single word. To him, this volume wasn't just about stardom. It was a wordless language of connection, shared between him and people from every corner of the world. As the final chorus reached its peak, he poured everything into the performance. He moved with explosive energy before holding a striking final posture right as the golden mist swept across the platform. Slowly, the stage lights faded to black. The arena continued to ring with endless cheers, vibrating through the structure long after the music stopped. Jimin lingered for a brief second in the dimming light, looking out at the glowing sea one last time with quiet gratitude, before turning to walk off stage, leaving behind a night that would stay, etched in their memories, forever. His footsteps felt heavy as he walked down the backstage stairs. The cool hallway air immediately greeted him, a stark contrast to the burning heat of the stage lights just moments before. The distant roar of the crowd still lingered, faint yet constant, like the steady pulse of a city that never sleeps. A shared celebration behind the scenes. A sudden knock shattered the quiet room, followed by the familiar, energetic voices echoing down the hallway. Before Jimin could even stand up, the door swung open, and the rest of the BTS members poured into the dressing room with huge grins on their faces. "There he is, the star of the night," RM exclaimed, leading the group in a spontaneous round of applause. Jin immediately walked over, clapping Jimin on the shoulder while handing him a fresh towel. "You looked like a complete rocker out there with that hair and long jacket. I could hear the crowd shouting your name from all the way down the corridor." Suga gave a warm, knowing smile and a slight nod, the classic nod of approval from one performer to another who knows just how much sweat went into making that show look effortless. "The energy during the climax was insane," Suga added gently. "You really held that stage down." J-Hope, ever the ray of sunshine, wrapped his arm around Jimin's shoulders in a tight hug. "Did you see the ocean of light sticks when you raised your hand during the intro? I got goosebumps just watching you from the side monitor." V and Jungkook trotted over next, both grinning from ear to ear. Jungkook picked up a spare microphone from the couch and playfully mimicked Jimin's iconic high note from the performance, causing the entire room to burst into laughter. "Hyung, seriously, that transition into the golden mist looked unreal," V said, admiring the preview clips already popping up on social media. "You looked so cool." The heavy exhaustion that had settled on Jimin just moments ago seemed to melt away, replaced by the deep warmth of brotherhood. Looking around the room at his members, the people who understood every sacrifice, every late-night practice, and every drop of sweat, Jimin felt his heart overflow. "Thanks, guys," Jimin said softly, his eyes crescendos of happy smiles. I couldn't have done any of this without you all in my corner. Together, they huddled into a tight group circle, throwing their hands into the center, just like they always did before embarking on a new journey, ready to face whatever lay ahead as one. As the laughter died down, the room settled into a comfortable, easy silence, the kind of quiet that only comes from years of shared history and mutual understanding. The chaotic energy of the concert was slowly replaced by the gentle hum of the backstage area, where staff members moved quietly outside, packing up gear and securing equipment for the next leg of the tour. Jimin sat back down, watching his bandmates scatter around the room. Suga was already leaned back on a couch, checking his phone with a faint smile, while Jin and J-Hope were engaged in a playful debate about what post-show meal to order. Over by the catering table, V and Jungkook were quietly assembling plates of food, making sure to grab a portion of Jimin's favorite dishes first. The midnight ride and promises to tomorrow. The automatic doors slid open, releasing a cool late-night breeze that swept through the subterranean parking garage. A small fleet of black vans stood idling in a row, their exhaust curling softly in the chill night air. Outside the perimeter gates, the distant chants of fans singing in unison could still be heard, a sweet, lingering melody floating across the city. Jimin slid into the leather seat of the middle van, pulling his jacket close. Jungkook settled in right beside him, plugging in a pair of shared earphones and handing one side to Jimin without saying a word. A soft, unreleased acoustic demo began to play, gentle guitar strums filling the quiet space between them. As the van smoothly pulled out onto the empty highway, the city skyline glittered through the tinted windows. Towering skyscrapers passed by like quiet guardians under the starry sky, their reflections shimmering across the calm river below. "Look at that," Jungkook whispered, pointing toward a massive digital billboard high above the highway. Jimin leaned closer to the window. Across the giant screen, clips from tonight's concert played in a looping montage, his own silhouette, framed by golden light, the explosive pyrotechnics, and the ocean of glowing light sticks. Seeing it from the outside felt almost surreal, like watching a dream he had lived through just an hour ago. "It feels like time goes by so fast when we're on stage," Jimin said softly, a gentle smile tracing his lips. 2 hours feel like 2 minutes. That's because you're completely present when you're up there," RM said from the front passenger seat, turning around with an encouraging nod. "When you give everything you have to the music, time stops mattering. That's what makes those moments stay with people forever." Jimin looked at his reflection in the glass, the faint lights of the passing highway sweeping across his face. He thought about the journey, the endless practices, the moments of doubt, the physical pain, and the overwhelming joy that always followed. Every hardship felt insignificant compared to the deep connection he shared with his brothers and millions of hearts around the world. The van pulled up to the quiet entrance of their hotel. One by one, they stepped out into the night air. Before heading to their respective rooms, the members paused in the hallway, sharing tired smiles and quiet pats on the back. "Get some good rest tonight, everyone," Jin said softly, his usual jokes replaced by warm care. "We've got another big day tomorrow." "Good night, Hyungs," Jungkook murmured, waving as he walked down the hall. Jimin unlocked his room door and stepped inside. The room was bathed in the soft glow of the midnight city skyline outside his window. He walked over to the glass, looking out over the sleeping city. He took a deep, grounding breath, feeling a profound sense of gratitude settle deep within his chest. Reflection in the quiet night. The click of the door closing behind him marked the official end of the long night. Inside the quiet hotel room, the ambient noise of the outside world faded into absolute silence. Jimin unclipped his ear monitors from his collar and placed them carefully on the bedside table next to his ring collection. He walked slowly toward the floor-to-ceiling window. Down below, the city stretched out like a galaxy of amber and white lights, quiet and serene at 2 a.m. He leaned his forehead gently against the cool glass, taking a deep, long breath. The physical toll of the performance was finally settling into his body. His shoulders felt heavy. His legs ached and his voice was a soft whisper. Yet inside his chest an indestructible warmth remained. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small, handwritten note a fan had handed to a staff member earlier that day. Unfolding the worn piece of paper, he read the words under the soft lamplight. Your voice brought light into my darkest days. Thank you for never giving up. A gentle smile curved Jimin's lips. It was messages like these that transformed the exhausting routines, the sore muscles and the relentless pressure into something deeply meaningful. It wasn't about the applause or the massive stadium numbers. It was about these quiet, invisible threads connecting his heart to someone else's halfway across the world. Walking into the bathroom, he turned on the shower, letting the steam fill the room as the warm water washed away the sweat, glitter and hairspray from the stage. He let his mind drift back to the sea of glowing lights from just hours ago. He pictured the smiling faces in the front row, the voices singing every lyric in perfect Korean, and the collective energy that made tens of thousands of strangers feel like one big family. After drying off and slipping into comfortable oversized pajamas, Jimin turned off all the main lights, leaving only the soft glow of the cityscape shining through the curtains. He climbed into the crisp white sheets of the bed and pulled the blanket up. He picked up his phone one last time, opening the group chat with the members. Jimin, great job today, everyone. Get some good rest. See you at breakfast. Within seconds, replies popped up one by one. Simple heart emojis, funny sticker replies, and sweet goodnight messages from his brothers. Setting his phone face down on the nightstand, Jimin closed his eyes. The distant hum of the city sang a gentle lullaby as he finally let sleep wash over him, ready to dream, rest, and wake up to do it all over again tomorrow. Dawn of a new day. Morning arrived with a quiet, golden light filtering through the sheer curtains of the hotel room. The bustling city below was beginning to wake, streets filling with the early morning commute. Inside, Jimin stirred softly, the heavy blanket wrapped around his shoulders as he slowly opened his eyes to the soft daylight. He sat up on the edge of the bed, stretching his arms high into the air. His body still carried the faint ache from yesterday's high-intensity choreography, but a good night's rest had restored his spirit. He walked over to the window, pulling the curtains back fully, and took a deep breath of the morning air. At 8:02 a.m., a soft knock came at his door. Jimin opened it to find J-Hope standing in the hallway, holding 2 cups of iced Americano with a warm, energetic smile that instantly brightened the morning. Morning, sunshine! J-Hope grinned, handing a coffee to Jimin. How did you sleep? Like a log, Jimin replied with a laugh, taking a sip of the cool, rich coffee. I didn't even hear my alarm. Good, because today's schedule is going to be another wild ride, J-Hope said, leaning against the doorframe. RM wants us all down in the lounge for breakfast in 20 minutes before soundcheck. Please see what do you ask, After a quick shower and getting dressed in a comfortable oversized hoodie and dark jeans, Jimin walked down to the lounge. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee, toasted bread, and warm pastries filled the room. Around a long wooden table sat the rest of the members, already laughing and sharing stories over their morning meals. Jin was playfully trying to steal a piece of bacon from Jungkook's plate, while Suga sat quietly sipping his coffee, reviewing the audio mixes from last night's live recording on his laptop. RM was looking over the timeline for today's stadium show, making notes on his tablet. Our star is here, V called out, waving Jimin over to an empty seat between him and Jungkook. Jimin sat down, a genuine, content smile spreading across his face as he joined the chatter. Looking around the table at these 6 faces, his family, his team, his lifelong companions, he felt an overwhelming sense of readiness. Yesterday's performance was now a beautiful memory, but today offered a fresh canvas. In just a few hours, they would step back out under the spotlight, ready to create magic once again. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss our next content. See you in the next video.